Do you know what the scariest thing is about Victor Wembanyama right now? Because now we're starting to get a look into like what his mentality is. The scariest thing about Wemby, and this is my big takeaway on Wemby, I think this is going to be a big message for his legacy going forward. This dude is searching for new levels of different. I don't know about you guys, but I'm prepared to not be surprised by anything that Wemby does this season. Let me explain. This brother spent 2 weeks at a monastery over the summer, meditating daily, practicing kung fu, playing basketball with monks, eating only vegetarian meals. Let me read you what he said about why he even did this. He wanted to go, he said, to put his mind and body under unusual stress. So then you see that he's tapped in with people like Hakeem Olajuwon, doing some kind of training or sessions with someone like Kevin Garnett. And then you have the final scene of the Court of Gold documentary on Netflix. USA beats France in the gold medal game. The very last scene is Wemby talking to reporters, sending out a warning shot to the whole world saying, I am worried for opponents in a couple of years. He's searching for something. He's searching for new levels of different. He's already different. He's over 7'5", can handle, shoot all. He's already wildly different. He is doing things to make himself more different. And why that's so scary and significant is because he's already probably the most different, unique specimen we've ever seen as a basketball player. He's already, I mean, we call him an alien. That's the best that's the best term we have to describe him or compare him to is alien-like. He's already otherworldly, already different. He's searching for he's making himself more different. He's looking for ways to make himself more different. Now that's mentality, that's physically, that's in his game. So let's start with mentality and mentally. What is this dude? And really one of my big takeaways right now, what I think we're getting to learn about Wemby right now is this is the scariest part. If this is true, then yeah, the league really is in trouble. Wemby might be a sicko. Wemby might be an actual sicko. And when I say sicko, I'm talking like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, like, you know, Tom Brady, like the all-time greats are often described as like obsessive kind of sickos and psychos, people who punch their teammates in practice, people who obsess over winning championships, who obsess about being the best. They become sickos, like kind of in a good way, not so much a toxic way. I guess it could become toxic in some scenarios, but for the most part, we celebrate that kind of mentality because that's what people like that often attribute to them becoming as successful as they are. Wemby spent 10 days at a monastery over the summer. We only got a few photos because it seemed very genuine in the sense that he didn't do like a whole vlog series about it, right? Like, I don't think he had, there were clearly a couple reporters, maybe one or two. There's only a few photos that came out of it, but like, he was there. We know he was there. It wasn't documented. It wasn't like promoted or blown up like that. We got a couple photos of Wemby in the baldy playing basketball with monks and stuff. So we know it happened. We also know that he shaved his head. He meditated daily, practiced kung fu, ate only vegetarian meals. Now, as someone, if you know me, and part of what I do is I help introduce meditation and breathing exercises and yoga to basketball players. That's part of what we do, part of our platform, Holistic Hooper. Now, if you don't have much experience with meditation or seeing like what it can do for you, what the effects are, you may not really understand like what that means for somebody like Wemby. The fact that he's tapped into a practice like that. For me and someone who's up close and personal with it, it's part of why I've said I'm not going to be surprised by anything Wemby does this season or going forward. Not just because he's meditating and spending time with monks, but the fact that he's open about it, willing to share it and talk about it. But it's like, it's not, you know, it's not like some blown out thing in the media. It's not like a campaign of Wemby the monk. Like it's really for him. He's not doing this to show us, oh, look at what I'm doing. No, he did that for him. In fact, the quote from him as to why he went through that experience was to put his mind and his body under unusual stress. He signed up for new levels of stress to obviously challenge his mind, challenge his body as he's preparing for the upcoming NBA season. That is sicko mentality, people. Signing up for unusual stress is the sign of a sicko. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Sorry to break up this video. Just wanted to pop in real quick and say thank you for watching and supporting. If you're not already, make sure you subscribe to Basketball Society and stay tapped in with more of our basketball content on YouTube. The fact that this dude is gaining access to people like Kevin Garnett, to be seeking out counsel and whatever it is, mentorship, mental training sessions, and whatever game he's getting from Kevin Garnett, the fact that Wemby is seeking it out and the fact that he's getting access to it, whatever it is, from Kevin Garnett, that is a sign of a potential sicko. The fact that Wemby has gained access to Hakeem Olajuwon from a basketball standpoint, what are we talking about? I'm not going to lie. That is the sign of a potential sicko, a potential basketball sicko. He is searching for something. He's searching for a level of greatness maybe that we haven't seen before. If he's pulling from Hakeem Olajuwon, Kevin Garnett, willing to spend time at a monastery and meditate for 10 straight days, he is at some level truly obsessed and probably at a level where he could be considered a sicko with becoming an all-time great. He has started this season so great. The Spurs are 5-0 to start the season for the first time ever. I'm pretty sure I saw. The way Wemby has started this season from the very first game, you got people now starting to ask, wait, is Wemby already a top 5 NBA player? Is he about to become the best player in the league this season? Is he going to become one of the best of all time? Maybe the greatest of all time? He has looked so special. And I mean, he missed some time last year in his rookie season. He had some amazing moments in his rookie season that already had us like excited about him. But he missed some time. He comes back in this season. He's looking a little stronger, playing with a little more force, doing things off the dribble, blocks a shot, come up, pat, dribble bag, step back, touch, toe tap, side step, toe tap, step backs for 3-pointers. Just in the first stint of the season, first 5 games, people seem to be like blown away by Wemby just looking a little more forceful, right? Owning his space, not just doing like the crazy looking blocked shots and not just dunking like he's on a Nerf hoop, but like taking bump, going off the dribble, feeling things out, right? Like, and I'm not surprised because of what I saw in his game and because of what he's doing to set himself apart mentally and physically. It's not just about the monastery, but that's big. If this dude is meditating, we can forget about it. Like, his ceiling is, I'm not going to be surprised by anything. The amount of winning he does, if he's winning MVPs, if he's leading the league in scoring, if he wins an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Like, I'm not projecting or predicting. All I'm saying is whatever it's going to be, based on what he's showing us he's willing to do, I'm not going to be surprised at all. And I really think this is going to be, especially if he starts winning at a certain level, a huge piece and message of Wemby's legacy, which is, we talk about it a lot with LeBron. Like, a lot of, majority of kids, young hoopers, young players and stuff are, you won't be blessed to be 6'9", 260, most athletic, best passer. Like, most of us will not be blessed with those physical gifts. The same is true of most kids, even more kids will not be blessed with the same physical attributes as a Wemby. But the message here is that even if you are a LeBron James, a 6'9", 260, even if you are a Wemby, alien-like, over 7'4", you still have to do things to separate yourself. There's always the notion and the process for athletes when it comes to separating yourself from your competition. What makes me different? What separates myself from my peers, from my competitors? What's going to give me that edge, right? That mental edge or that competitive or physical edge. It's all about separating yourself. People like LeBron and Wemby are already different. So for someone like Wemby to be that different, that unique, that much of an alien-like specimen, and he's still doing things to make himself more different, that's the scariest thing about this dude. And that's going to be the message as he continues to become one of the faces of the NBA, if not the face of the NBA, as he does more winning, as he becomes more popular. That's going to be one of the big takeaways for me. And I think for anyone, I think that's going to be a big message of his legacy, which is look at this dude who came in described as an alien, and look at the things that he was willing to do to continue to make himself more different than just an alien, like physically, mentally, the things he's willing to do. I just saw a story the last couple of days that apparently he's telling Spurs ownership and management that he's willing to take pay cuts, which we've seen stars say before and express before. Wemby is willing to take pay cuts to keep building a championship roster in San Antonio. So, like, what is there not to love and appreciate? How does this dude not become, right, an all-time great, an all-time winner? How does he not become those things when he's humble, but also it seems very self-aware, while also being very confident and assured of himself? Like, this is a fascinating thing happening with Wemby. Like, I just think that's the scariest thing, is that I'm not surprised by anything he's going to be doing. People seem to be marveled by, oh man, he's looking I'm like, guys, he spent 10 days meditating at a monastery, shaved his head, meditated daily. This dude is willing to do things that other people who are not even as different as him, not even as unique as him, he's willing to do things to make himself more different than he already is. Separate himself even more from the pack when he's already separated. He's already different. That's the scariest thing about this dude. I think that's going to be a big piece of his legacy, which is be willing to be different. Be willing to be more different if you're already different. I think that is the scariest thing about Wemby. It's the coolest thing about Wemby, and it's going to be a big part of his legacy. I just think the more young people, young players, I just think the more as a basketball society and fandom, the more we can watch Wemby, the more we learn about Wemby and what he's willing to do. I just think he's like this. He's taking on like a monk mentality, honestly. He doesn't say much. He doesn't do much. He just seems to be truly committed to separating himself and winning. Like, look at the last quote. If you watch that Court of Gold documentary on Netflix, where Team USA beat France in that crazy gold medal game that France could have won. I mean, it was a neck and neck game. We just happened to have Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and LeBron James on our side. But the last scene of that documentary was not the USA, some cool shot of Steph and Katie and LeBron together. It wasn't that. The last scene of that documentary where USA won the gold, the last shot we saw was of Wemby talking to reporters, and he was distraught by the loss. Like, you could tell. I mean, he was crying at one point. I think I remember seeing him in the tunnel. He was crying. He wanted that for his country. He wanted to win. I think losing to, the NBA stars just became further motivation, because what he told the reporters was, all I can tell you is that I'm worried for opponents over the next couple years. And one of the reporters was like, you talking about in the Olympics or like in the world, or are you talking about the NBA? He was like, everyone, all of them, everyone, anyone you can think of. I'm worried for them. And like, he doesn't say it in a way to strike fear, although it could and it should maybe. He doesn't say it in like a way that's, you know, bravado and like, oh, I'm better than people. He said it in this like humble, soft-spoken, still upset that we just lost, but in a way like, man, what I'm getting ready to do, what I'm about to put myself through over the next few years, what I'm about to do to show those guys on the other side that I'm just as good, if not better. He has a mentality of wanting to do that. He has an inner fire that is leading him to want to become a certain level of great. And I just think that is the coolest and scariest thing as we continue to follow Wemby in his career, the things he's willing to do to make himself more different than he already is. When he's already historically different, that's the coolest, scariest thing. And that's going to be a really important part of his legacy in the end. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to Basketball Society right here on YouTube so you don't miss any more episodes and you can stay tapped in.